All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Deep Pockets on YouTube. Back for another day of MLB Picks, where we'll share our favorites of the day, give you a little bit more of a breakdown as to what we like, thoughts, analysis, everything. We know MLB so much, so we're going to try to give you as much content this season as we can, give you all the ins and outs, totals, sides, whatever. We'll give you everything that we can for MLB this season. So I'm trying to post as much content as possible. Spaces doesn't save the recordings on these things that I do on Twitter. So I want to make sure I have some backup here if I ever want to go back and have people listen to stuff. So thanks for joining us. Anyone who has, looking forward to another great day of MLB. I'm going to do a short recap in a bit. But Kenny, let's start with you. What has been some of your favorite things in the early part of MLB season, whether it be teams, players, rule changes? Tell me a thing or two you like about the season so far. What are your thoughts been?
Yeah, when I originally heard about, thanks for having me on the show today, and looking forward to hearing more picks from you today. But when I first originally heard the rules for MLB, I was kind of nervous and skeptical about how it was going to change because I've always been an old school, play by the rules, baseball guy. But I love the new rule changes. I love the pace and the speed of play. It's really made it more enjoyable to watch, especially as a bettor because early on we've been feasting on a lot of these games and trying to find matchups here and there where there's a bad catcher or just a pitcher that's more prone to give up some runs. So really like the new rule changes, speeding up the game. I didn't think I was going to say that, but it has surprised me, and I like the way baseball is moving, and hopefully it can continue to move in a positive direction for the year. So good start to the season. I'm excited baseball's back.
Yeah, I think the changes they've made have definitely helped, especially with the pitchers. I mean, no one wants to see a pitcher up there waiting a whole minute just to pitch the ball. Like, I love baseball, but it was getting to the point where it just got ridiculous. So what they've done to make this better and make the game move faster, I think that's great. Yeah, they might shorten it by 20 minutes, which really isn't a lot if you think about it, but still it's something that when you're watching the game, you notice it. You notice that you're not sitting there waiting all day. So I do like that change, and I'm glad they've implemented something that will help hopefully the younger generation too, who we're trying to get back into baseball, younger than what we are. So yeah, thanks for sharing that about what your thoughts are for the season. Looking forward to seeing how they go throughout. I know we're only 4 or 5 games in, so a lot of this is new to us. We're just still learning about some of these rules and some of these teams. You got to try to pick your spots where you like them, and that's what I've been saying on my Twitter Spaces: is start really slow. I mean, if you want to pick your spots and go with teams you really like, go for it. But my opinion is start with lower units. Don't go full units on these games yet. It's so early. You don't need to be blowing your bankroll. If you have a better system, go with it. But just the way I play it, I play small units right now. I want to see how these teams are, get some more data, and then start jacking it up even more as we get along, maybe into May and late May. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's do a quick recap of yesterday. Deep Pockets has been freaking on fire. And that's something that I don't say often because I stay very humble about my picks. I don't like to brag, and I never will brag and never will charge people picks. But man, it's been a hot run for the last 2-3 days in MLB. We swept it on Sunday, we swept it yesterday, and we hit a 9-leg parlay, $3 that we turned into 1,100. I posted it on my page, I screenshotted it. It made the best parlay I've ever hit in my life. Like I play personal parlays. I just do really small amounts on it. I don't ever go crazy on these. I know they're very long shots to win, and I never encourage anyone to do it if they don't want to. But to win the one I did yesterday was awesome. Just really, really, really cool. First time I've done this ever in all my gambling years. So I'm really excited to build off of that and keep going because there's a lot of baseball to be played. So we're going to try to keep winning some games and keep it going. So that was our recap from yesterday. Did you have any quick thoughts about yesterday's games, Kenny, before we move into today's slate?
No, congrats on the huge parlay. It's amazing to turn $3 into 1,000. So amazing hit yesterday, and keep following Deep Pockets for more picks on Twitter and also on TikTok as well. So make sure you follow us for more updates on different things. Are we gonna win every game? No, but it's always nice to celebrate the days that you do. And Lexi's always very transparent about when he wins, when he loses. So we're very real about the ebbs and flows of sports betting. But for the most part, congrats and have a good luck for the rest of the season. Baseball's back.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll always be transparent. Losing days, I'll post all my losing days no matter what. And Yeah, not going to win every game. We're gonna get brought back down to earth here anytime, and you just got to go roll with the punches. It's a 162 game season for a reason, so we got to just keep it going. Hopefully, win some games, but stay, over the percentage of what do they say, 56? Anything over 50%, you're winning. So that's the biggest thing. All right, let's move into today. So we're going to start with this game here, Twins and Marlins. So if you've been watching baseball to start the season, Minnesota has looked really strong. They swept the Royals, and then they absolutely crushed the Marlins yesterday in the first game of the series. Now, coming into the season, I'm very high on this Marlins pitching staff. I think they made some real adjustments to the rotation, and I think they're going to be strong because of that. But I'm still skeptical about the offense, and in this game specifically, I lean a lot more toward the Marlins, who are 1-4 on the season and have the much better starting pitcher, the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner, Sandy Alcantara. If I'm saying that right, I've heard 3 different ways how to say his last name, so if it's not right, whatever. But he is a great pitcher. He went out against the Mets last week. It was his first start. I give a lot of these starting pitchers some time to figure it out, because once we're in midseason form, the pitchers are back into it. And especially with all these rule changes with the pitch clock, that's another thing you add on outside of spring training and not being ready and built up yet. So I give him some slack. But here's the thing. I like the Marlins today a lot because he's already had a start under his belt this season. And the Twins will be throwing Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda has not pitched this season. This will be his first start. And I don't think the Twins have faced a pitcher of the caliber Sandy Alcantara has. So I'm going to be playing this game first 5. You can actually get pretty good value on the money line too, I believe. Let's see. Money line, when I saw last on DraftKings, was minus 140. Yeah, I think that's a good price too. I tend to play smaller prices on these games early in the season. I don't want to pay too much juice early on, but I do like the first 5. You can get it at minus a half at minus 105. And if you think the pitching's going to, and that's the way I look at it, the 2 starting pitchers here, I think the starting pitching matchup is just a total mismatch. And so give me the Marlins here at minus a half in the first 5. I'm going to take this as one of my favorite bets of the day. Marlins offense, yeah, it's streaky. There's some guys that are strikeout or home run kind of players, but I think they can get to Kenta Maeda. I feel pretty good about them with Sandy Alcantara on the mound too. So that's what I've got for my first game today. Kenny, do you have any thoughts on this game? Any action, any breakdowns, even if you're not making any bets on this game?
Yeah, I like the Marlins in the spot too. I'm not going to touch this game personally, but the Marlins, it's hard to go against the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner. So good luck with your bets there today with Miami. Looks like a good play. And I noticed that the over-under, the total set at 7. So that's very interesting for that total this early in the year. Kenta Maeda starting making his first start. I haven't really looked into the splits per the team matchup. I'm looking at that next. Maybe I'll add some more commentary as we move on.
Yeah, something I'm looking at it right now. These teams haven't really faced the pitchers much. The most at bats against Alcantara, surprisingly, is Joey Gallo, and he has an 8 at bats, a 375 average, and he's actually starting the season really hot. I don't know if you've noticed, Kenny, but he has 3 home runs. He just hit 2 last night. Joey Gallo, maybe a change of scenery is going to flip him around. I'm not sure, but the guy seems to be hitting 4 or 5 games into the season. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks moving forward, because that was a big question mark with the Twins. Why are you signing Joey Gallo? But yeah, besides that, there's not much in the lineup that has faced Alcantara. And then on the other side, against Kenta Maeda, Gene Segura in 20 at bats, he's batting 300. But besides that, there's no one really in this lineup that's faced him. Though I do think it's a good spot because Kenta Maeda had a pretty rough spring for the most part. He had over a 4.59 ERA. So do you like to look at those kind of things? His spring training wasn't too strong, and that's why I'm going to back the Marlins here in a bounce back spot where they lost yesterday. And like you mentioned, that over. One quick thing about that, these overs, if you see those overs set at 7 runs, I don't care who's pitching. I think overs are worth a play right now in MLB. I really do. With the rule changes, with the pitching, not knowing how to adjust to these new rule changes. I know spring training, they implemented it, but still, this is a whole different animal. Starting the regular season, there's more pressure on you. Better lineups are out there for the entire game. I think overs at this time of the year, 7, 8 runs, if you like it, go with it, because I think that's what I did yesterday in my parlay. I had multiple 8, 7.5 totals. I don't care if Alcantara's pitching. I'd still play the over at 7 personally. So,
yeah, it's interesting because we talked about that the other day, and a lot of teams that are getting guys on base, they're stealing bases because they know that the pitchers are working quicker. They have a pitch clock, all that kind of stuff. So they're getting guys to second base, which is alleviating the double play ball. You don't see as many double plays earlier on in the season because guys aren't just on first. There's a guy on second, so that makes you throw the ball to first to get that force out. So you're getting guys more in scoring position, way more than we've ever seen. And that's why we really like these totals earlier on, because that one run can really make a big difference here and then over or under.
Exactly. And 7 runs in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. 7 runs, compare that to a total that's at 9 or 10. That's 2-3 less runs you have to worry about. And we all know bullpens. Any given inning, a bullpen guy can go out there and just blow it up. So just keep that in mind. That's the reason why I'm liking overs earlier on in the season. I don't currently have one on my card yet, but I might look into it a little bit more after the show here. I just want to get out my favorite picks at the moment. All right, let's move to the next one. Mets and Brewers. Another game yesterday. That was a blowout. The Brewers won 10-0 in their home opener. Now they move to a much different matchup here. Matchup between Max Scherzer and Wade Miley. Yes, Wade Miley, the left-handed pitcher who the Brewers signed in the offseason to be their number 5. Wade Miley, the left-hander. Again, this is just a pitching matchup, mismatch to me. And that's why I'm liking the first 5 here. I'm playing first 5 New York Mets in a bounce-back spot in a game that I think they can absolutely get to Wade Miley. And with it being his first start, I absolutely love that. Scherzer, another guy who's already made a start this season. He looked really good against Miami. It's just a couple mistakes that led to a home run. I think it was the final score of 5-3 in that game. But I like the Mets here in a bounce back. If you look at their lineup, they do have real success against Wade Miley. Specifically, Starling Marte in 22 at-bats. He has a 409 average. Francisco Lindor in 13 at-bats has a 385 average. And Mark Canha in 16 at-bats with a 250 average. So there are some players in this lineup who are very familiar with Wade Miley. On the other side, with Max Scherzer on the mound here, if you look at some of the players in the Brewers lineup, there's some guys who've hit him well, like William Contreras, but that's only in 4 at-bats. Really, the only player that I would be concerned about is maybe Caratini. I don't even know if he's playing yet. He has a 467 average and 15 at-bats. But besides that, there's not much there. And I think Scherzer at this time of the year, no matter what, he's pretty much ready to go. I have full confidence in Max Scherzer, the veteran kind of pitcher who can get it done. So I do like the Mets. If you feel comfortable playing them on the money line, I do think that's a really solid price too at minus 150. I think that should be more toward like 170, 180. So you're getting a little bit of value there in my opinion. But I do like first 5 more. I like the total mismatch at starting pitchers, and that's what I'm playing. I'm taking a different approach to the season. I'm looking more for first 5s early on because I like to see pitchers who I think are better than others. And first 5 minus a half is currently minus 125. So you save if you're a 1 unit better, you save about $25 or so. Thoughts on this game, Kenny?
Yeah, gonna see how the Mets look in Milwaukee. You know, how excited are the Mets gonna be to be playing in Milwaukee? It's going to play there in April is not fun. So let's see how they look. It's gonna be terrible weather, I heard tonight. Could possibly be raining by game time, but it doesn't matter because they have a retractable roof. But let's see how motivated the New York Mets are to show up after getting stomped last night.
And that's something I like early in the season when a lineup gets shut out in the game before, they come back out and they get to a guy like Wade Miley. Like I have no concerns about Miley. If I lose the bet because of this, Scherzer against Miley, it's just something you got to go with. But I'm looking more here at the value in the starting pitchers. I got to go with Max Scherzer and the Mets in a bounce back spot who lost game 1 of the series. So give me the Mets here, first 5 minus a half. That's my second favorite play of today.
Don't forget that famous fantasy trade a few years ago when I traded for Wade Miley and threw a no-hitter for the Reds.
I know he kind of comes and goes. He has good games. He has bad games. I feel like his good is really, really good and his bad are just so bad. Like there's no middle with him. He's just either really good or really bad. Hopefully tonight we'll get the really bad. All right, good stuff on the Mets and Brewers. Let's move to the next game on the card, Braves and Cardinals. This one I'm still kind of looking into. I've locked in the other 2 games. Those are actually official plays. I will be posting them on my page. This one is just a strong lean right now, but I want to go in the order that the games are tonight. So let's talk about the Braves and the Cardinals. Braves took game 1 yesterday over the Cardinals. I don't know why at all people were high on Jake Woodford at all. I'm a Cardinals fan. I know a lot about this team, and Jake Woodford is not good. He might be okay as a bullpen player, but he's not a starting pitcher in my opinion. So going with Jake Woodford last night, I saw a lot of people betting his strikeout prop and all this stuff. I just didn't understand it. The Braves have a really good lineup. So definitely don't agree with what happened yesterday, but I think this is another great bounce back spot for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going against a lefty, and if we remember last year, this lineup smashed lefties. This team was really, really good against lefties. I don't know the exact numbers on it. I didn't pull up last year's data on how they did against lefties, but they're playing a guy pitching by the name of Dylan Dodd. I know a lot about baseball. I don't know much about this guy. He's 24 years old. He's a 6'2", 210 left-handed pitcher. I imagine he'll have some nerves first start. I don't know if he's made a start before. I don't see a debut listed here, so I think he's a rookie from what I can tell. So give me the Cardinals here as a strong lean. I think Steven Matz, in his second year of the contract, he has a lot of potential to be that number 4, number 5 starter that the Cardinals really need. And there's not much in this lineup. Surprisingly, with all the years Steven Matz pitched in New York, there's not much on this lineup that has a ton of success against him. If you look at it down top to bottom, Ozzie Albies, 130 average and 23 at-bats. Acuna, 16 at-bats. He has a 250 average. Marcell Ozuna, the best hitter in the lineup against him, who's having a really rough start to the season. He has 22 at-bats. He has a 318 average. So the Cardinals are really expecting high things for Steven Matz this year. He had a good spring training. They need him to do well. So I'm liking the Cardinals right now. Money line sits at about minus 130, 135. I think that's a good price to get with them in game 2 in a bounce back spot. Kenny, what are your thoughts on this game?
I was looking at some of the comments, and I saw Robert S. said that the Cards versus lefties. Check the lines for Goldie and Arenado total bases. I think that's a really good smart play as well, because those guys do carve up lefties. So I think that's one of your smarter bets. And I think the Cardinals are in a good spot right here at home to bounce back after last night's game. It's nice to see them fight to the end. But let's see them if they can fight back again on this opening day homestand, see if they can get a win out of the Braves. Braves are one of the best teams in baseball, so the Cardinals have been tasked with some of the 2 best offenses in baseball, with Toronto, people honking outside, and Atlanta coming into town. So thanks, Robert, for the comment.
Yeah, thank you guys for the comments. I see Casey's on here. I see Robert. I didn't even notice that in my right-hand corner until you said that. So thanks for the comments. Keep them coming. If you have a question about a certain game that we don't talk about, feel free to jump in and comment about a thought. We'll give you some of our thoughts on these games. Even if we don't have action in them, we know a lot about these teams, a lot about these pitching matchups, blah, blah, blah. So let us know if you ever have questions. But yes, they are very good against lefties, as I mentioned. I'm looking really, really hard into that game. And this Cardinals lineup can be very, very good. Wilson Contreras adds a lot of pop to that lineup with being in the catching role. I know Yadi Molina wasn't the same hitter he was 2-3 years ago. He just didn't. He kind of fell off. He's just getting up there in age. It was expected. But here's my sleeper. I don't know. I might throw a little bit on it. Here's my sleeper pick tonight. Ready for this? Jordan Walker hits his first home run for the Cardinals. That's my prediction for this game. Jordan Walker, the young studded rookie, hits his first home run against a left-handed pitcher tonight in left field. Let's say that. Left field bomb, Jordan Walker, first home run in the MLB. That's my pick. I'll probably throw a little. I got to throw some sprinkle money on that for that now that I say that. So give me that. All right, good stuff with Cards and Braves. Getting ahead of myself here. Cards and Braves should be another good one tonight in the National League. 2 teams who I expect to be there in the playoffs when we get to that point. All right, let's get to another game.
I like that Jordan Walker bet. That's a good bet to keep going until he actually hits one, because he's bound to hit one soon, right?
Oh, yeah.
His first home run. So keep tailing that Jordan Walker bet until he hits a home run. Put like $10 on each day.
I did that last year.
Keep doubling it.
I did that last year with Paul Goldschmidt. He started the season good, but wasn't hitting a home run. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, he's got to hit one soon. So I just kept betting him to hit a home run. He finally did. So yeah, Goldschmidt was a guy who I had last year. So I might do that. I might go like $10 on Jordan Walker tonight, just to put a little money on it, and then keep upping it.
What's his projection for this year for home runs? Is it 20? Around 20?
Yeah, some projections had him at like 18. Some had him at some guy had him at like 25. I saw one projection of
fantasy. So yeah, he's due for a home run. He's gonna get at least one here in April. So
yeah, so I definitely thought that was interesting. Let me see if there's a prop for that. Obviously there's a prop, but I want to see what the number is, the odds. Let's see. Batter props to hit a home run tonight. Jordan Walker is it going to show me? Here he is, 550. Okay, plus 550. So good little price for Jordan Walker to hit a home run tonight. I like it.
You keep putting $20 a day on that, or $10, whatever your bankroll is. You don't want to lose too much, but putting $20 a day until it happens, because he's going to have high juice, for a while. So put $20 on there each day instead of losing $200 on a money line. Why don't you use 10 days, 10 times, and putting $20 down for $200 and hopefully cash out.
Yeah,
before the 20 days.
Really smart. Yep. All right, good stuff there. Yeah, it looks like a lot of players in this lineup are like, I'm looking at it right now. Tyler O'Neill is plus 320 tonight. Wilson Contreras is 350. So they like those guys more than Jordan Walker. So that's interesting. And Nolan Arenado 285. So he's the most favorited player in all of this game to hit a home run tonight. Nolan Arenado plus 285. So interesting. All right, good stuff from the Cardinals and the Braves. I don't even know how that got to this, the Guardians and the Athletics, but that's our next game we're going to talk about, Guardians Athletics. This is a game, again, I'm looking at the first 5 because the pitching matchup. You just got to look at this time of the season, you got to look at it. Bieber looked really strong in his first start. I think they lost that game 3-0, so he didn't get much run support. But, I mean, this is, again, a total mismatch at starting pitching if you look at it. And Cleveland has started really strong. They beat a good Seattle team 3 out of 4, and then they won last night in a slugfest. But Shane Bieber against J.P. Sears, not much for me to look at other than the Cleveland Guardians here, especially with how they're hitting. If you look at their first 5, they are currently priced at, if I can get that pulled up here, I believe it's -1. It's a little bit higher, -130 or 135, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's right around there, but I think that's a great price with this pitching matchup here. I just think Shane Bieber can absolutely shut down this Oakland lineup. I don't know how Oakland scored 10 runs yesterday, but do I think that's going to happen again? No freaking way. I love that happened, actually, because it makes me even more confident in this bet. So I like the Guardians -0.5 in the first 5 innings to get it done. And again, even if you want to pay that juice, I'm personally not doing it, but if you want to pay the juice for -180 on the money line, I think that's also a great bet because right now, that's just a total mismatch at starting pitching. I can't say it enough. And the lineups are just totally off balance compared to Oakland and Cleveland. It's just not even comparable. So I like the Guardians here, again, to pull it off. Yesterday, I leaned the Guardians. I'm glad I held off of that because who was on the mound? The guy, Zach Plesac was on the mound last night. So thankfully, I held off of that game because he got rocked and ended up winning the game. But yeah, I got Cleveland with the first 5 -0.5. Do you have any thoughts on this game? I know you're a big Shane Bieber fan.
Yeah, I like Shane Bieber, but it's a little early for me to maybe take this game just by itself. But I am looking at a parlay with Cleveland -180 and Houston -285. Houston has Framber Valdez pitching against Matt Manning for the Detroit Tigers. And if you put those two together, you get plus money, which is 110. So you take Houston and Cleveland tonight, that's plus 110. I might look into that a little more, but to get 2 heavy favorites like that, plus money, that's like free money. So hopefully that'd be a good play. My other point is really quick, Alexi. The Athletics, they average about 2,000 fans at their game, so about 2,000 viewers. If you haven't followed my TikTok yet, NYC_KB, I get more people watching my rats that I film at night. So if you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Tune in tonight. It's National Rat Day.
Yes, I can back him up. NYCKB, if you like crazy content in New York, which is where he lives, he films these rats. People love it. He gets more, like he said, he gets more viewers on his TikTok than what the Oakland A's have in their stands. I mean, it's not a lie. If you look at his viewers and if you look at the stands tonight and you count the attendance, he's 100% accurate. I will back him up on that.
Over under the total tonight for my views versus the Oakland Athletics.
I got your over.
Announce attendance.
I got your over 100%.
Let's see.
Yeah, I got it. Let's see. I'm looking at some more of these comments. Give me that over in the Cleveland game. Yep, I think Cleveland can definitely score some runs. My only concern would be Oakland because I think they, like I said, they scored 10 runs last night. So can they put up even close to that again? No way, in my opinion. But they could. All you need is a couple runs, and if Cleveland can get you some help, I think that's a solid play. But I like your thoughts there with getting a little alternate line. But yeah, this is the time, like I said in the beginning, to play the overs. I mean, teams starting pitchers are not fully ready yet. So I like your thoughts, Casey, about that over under, especially the alternate, getting some plus money with it. All right, good stuff on that one. Let's see. I got a couple more things I want to talk about. We're not going to be on here long. We've got about no more than 10 minutes left. We got to run here in a bit, but we like to go through some things. Kenny, you were telling me about it before we jumped on before we jumped on here about this Yankees Phillies game, can you give us a little bit more thoughts? I know you may have not pulled the trigger yet, but are you leaning toward the underdog here? What are your thoughts on this Phillies and Mets game, or sorry, Phillies and Yankees game tonight?
Yeah, the weather tonight in New York City is going to be gorgeous. It's like what is it, like 69 degrees right now? My dad's favorite number. And the Phillies haven't won a game yet. Flex, you talked about it. The Phillies not being, a great team as they were last year and having a little, hangover from the World Series, which I definitely agree. And I think tonight they get their first win in the Bronx as they're facing against Domingo Herman, however you say his name. The Yankees are minus 155. The Phillies are plus 135. So if you don't feel comfortable taking the money line for the Phillies, I would take that plus 1.5. I think it's a good spot for them to kind of hang around that game. Domingo hasn't really pitched too well this spring. He's gotten lit up. That's why they kind of delayed him in starting this game tonight. So let's see what happens. The over/under for that game is at 8.5. So another one that you kind of raise your eyebrows, like, wow, in Yankee Stadium, perfect weather here in New York City for this time of year. Is that kind of a game that I bite the over 8.5 and take the Phillies plus 1.5 for the money line. So yeah, that's my underdog money line pick of the day.
I like that. I actually like that because one, the Phillies haven't won yet, and they come into this game 0-4. Now they were one of my teams in my preseason MLB preview that I said would miss the playoffs and finish their under in their total wins. So that's off to a good start, but lots of baseball to be played. My only concern here with the Phillies is their pitching. Matt Strahm, I don't even know if he's supposed to go. I think he might be. It might be a bullpen game for them. I think. I mean, he's not a starter, and it says he already has one strikeout. So I don't know if they're going like 1, 2, 3 innings with them or what. But it will be interesting to see how they roll out this game. But I do like your pick here with the Phillies. If there's a game that they can win, it's this kind of game. Bullpen games can be weird for offenses. They're not really prepared for who's going to come in after Matt Strahm, and you're getting plus money for a team who needs a win. And Phillies, my opinion, I don't think they're going to be great, but I think they could put up runs. Like, I think their offense can put up runs, and the last 2 games they haven't. So let's see. Yankees team total over 4.5. This is not a hangover. The Phillies pitching is not even good. With only 8 innings of ABs, Yankees will score a lot, in my opinion, due to the BP guy getting stretched out. I like it. I like that I like your thoughts on this. Yeah, that's my concern in this game was the Phillies pitching. And
how long is Strahm going to go? Because he's been with the Rays all those years where he's an opener, pitches 1-2 innings at the most, so I definitely can see that.
Yeah. And this game, I think you're right. I could see the Yankees putting up runs. I could see the Phillies putting up runs. I'm not very high on Domingo Germán. First start of the season. I know the Phillies haven't had a lot of pop. From what I'm seeing here, the only player who's hit a home run is what's his name? Alec Baum, from what I can tell here. So pretty crazy to see. Schwarber has started the season really bad. He's hitting under 100, and they need to get it together if they want to compete, because they can't go out and start 0-5. So they surely need to win here, but I like the over too. I might get in on the over here. We'll see if I get to it. But Kenny, I like that parlay you said about the Astros. They're coming off that loss last night to the Tigers. Tigers took it to them and played well. But now you get a bounce back here with Framber Valdez, your best pitcher on the mound. And then with Cleveland, I think that's good. Plus money, 2 teams who should win. I think that's a really good shot to take early in the season with 2 teams, especially with Houston coming off a loss. I really like that.
Another one I'm looking at to add and maybe plug and play is the Tampa Bay Rays on the road against the Nationals. So they are minus 170 tonight. If you put the Rays and the Guardians together, you get plus 147. So even more money in your pocket if you plug and play a couple matchups here and there. So Guardians, they should win tonight. The Rays, they're favored to win tonight, minus 170, minus 180, and that gives you plus 147. So two cool money line parlays right there. I wouldn't go more than 3, and especially if you're putting some big money on there. And if you're doing $3 bets like Alexi, make sure you follow which picks he's taking.
Yeah, if you want my long shot parlay of the day, let me know. I'll send it to you. I mean, don't expect it to hit much if it even does again. Like, that was something that never happens. That's all these years I've been doing it. I either have a really bad stretch of it, or I get 1 or 2 wrong, and it's like, damn it, there's just one team that always messes me up. But man, for it to hit last night, that was freaking awesome. And I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll keep doing $1, $2, $3 bets on a little long shot parlay just for fun. Might as well. But yeah, definitely agree. If you're going to put a lot of money on a parlay and you're going to do what Kenny just said, 2-3 teams, I keep it that no more than that. That's winning a 4-leg or winning a 2-teamer is hard enough sometimes. So if you start adding 3-4 with a lot of money down, I think that's gonna start pushing it. All right, let's see. I got one more thing here. You already gave your underdog. So your underdog pick tonight is Philly, right?
Yep, I'll be staying with Philly.
Philly's your underdog pick. Okay. So I need to give you guys an underdog pick tonight. Okay, I got to look at this. Let's see. Give me a second. Boston. What's Boston's? I know they lost last night, but there's no way they're underdogs here in this game. Let me see. I'm looking at the spread. Okay, Diamondbacks plus 130, Twins plus 135, but I like Miami. The Reds, no. Tampa Bay, I like your pick. I like Tampa Bay. They look really strong to start the season.
How the Orioles not getting much love? They're still underdog tonight.
Man, I had them last night in that parlay. They're plus 120. Kyle Gibson against Andrew Heaney. That might be the game I go with, honestly. Seattle, yeah, I feel like Seattle probably wins tonight with Luis Castillo on the mound. Jose Suarez isn't too good.
I'm also watching the Royals. The Royals at home.
Yeah, they won. They won last night against Kikuchi. That's a pretty bad starting pitching matchup. That's why the over is sitting at 10 right now.
Kikuchi starts tonight.
Yeah, Kikuchi against Buick.
Yeah.
So no, I'm saying last night.
Oh,
it was Berrios and Singer.
Yeah,
Brady Singer, and now tonight it's Kikuchi against Buick, and that over set at 10. So yeah, it's probably going to be some runs in that game, but I don't want to play it at 10 this early. Yeah, give me my underdog play will be the Orioles. I mean, they won last night, but I like this O's team, man. They have some good offense. They have some young up and coming players. Adley Rutschman. I mean, top to bottom, they have a very underrated lineup. The biggest concern is, of course, their pitching and their bullpen. But at that kind of price, I don't think the Rangers are anything special. And Andrew Heaney, he's up and down. I could see the Baltimore Orioles winning again, plus 120. Yeah, I'll take a shot at that. That's what my favorite underdog pick would be. Baltimore on the money line at plus 120, and then Kenny shared Philly money line plus 135. So 2 underdog picks. Those are the ones that we would roll with tonight. All right. Well, I don't think we have anything else. Is there any other thoughts you want to add in before we jump off on this YouTube?
Nope. Look at some other games out there and let us know your picks. Comment below if there's anything we missed or any insight like Robert said about Matt Strahm pitching, being a bullpen guy. So good luck to everybody. Our hope is that you make money regardless if you're with us or against us. We're always here to support each other in this community. So we appreciate everyone with all the tips and tricks that they provide, and have a good rest of your day and make some money, make some deep pockets.
Absolutely. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for the viewers who came in. Thanks for commenting. We all appreciate it. I know it's a very small amount of people watching right now, but you know what? We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep having fun with this. We got a long season of MLB. So like Kenny said, good luck with your picks. Thank you for being on here. We will be back again, hopefully tomorrow, if not. But I will be having a Spaces later today. So if you like my Twitter Spaces, if you listen to me there, I'll be on Twitter Spaces probably around 3:15 Central Time. So about a little bit over an hour away. We'll do a Spaces. We'll get other people's picks and stuff. So good luck with your plays, everybody. Thank you for joining. We will see you again soon. Later, guys.